What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name's Josh, and oh boy, do we have some interesting content this week. Now, in light of the recent news with Disney and Epic Games, I figured that now would be a perfect time to cover some of the NFT applications that surfaced in the middle of last year. But as for Thursday's episode, I actually believe I found a connection between 𝗕𝗲𝗍 and another company, a company whose name I've actually seen before but has not been discussed in the community. So if you guys are interested in finding out exactly who that company is, make sure to tune in on Thursday. And as for the many patents that we're going through in today's episode, I just kept finding more and more and more as I was putting it together. I'm not wasting any more time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So before we get into any specific one here, I want to talk about the application process, just so you guys know exactly what's going on here. So a patent application is going to be the initial steps that someone takes to secure legal protection for an invention. And speaking of invention, that's exactly where it starts. So the process begins with the creation of a new invention or an improvement to an existing technology. It could be anything from like a new product, a process, a machine, all that type of stuff. The next step is going to be the evaluation. So before the patent's actually even filed, the inventor or the company involved is typically going to conduct a search to see if that invention even qualifies for a patent, because there are certain requirements. It can't be too obvious, it needs to be new, it needs to be useful, that type of stuff. Now, if it does qualify, the next step is drafting the application. And these are going to be documents that describe the invention in detail, including its features, its functionalities, and then any potential applications. Once it's drafted, it's submitted to the relevant office. And of course, when it's submitted, it has to include all the necessary forms and fees and that type of stuff. From there, the patent's going to undergo an examination, and this is to ensure compliance with patent laws, but then also to determine whether the invention actually meets the criteria of being patentable. Now, if it gets all the green lights, it's then going to be published, and this is typically 18 months from the filing date. From there, it's either going to be granted or rejected, and if granted, the owner is then responsible for maintaining the patent by paying periodic maintenance fees. It's then going to provide that owner with the exclusive right to prevent others from making, using, selling, or importing the now patented invention. This is for a limited period, and that period is typically 20 years. And during this time, the patent owner can pretty much enforce the rights against any infringement with legal action. So that's what a patent is, that's what they do, and that's how they're filed. All right, so the first application we're going to cover here is the one and only partner statute. And just like I said in the last episode, just because this is the partner statute doesn't mean it's related to 𝗕𝗲𝗍. Not trying to bring some people down, but I'm also trying to be realistic. So I do think this application pertains to the physical park statute, and there's a couple reasons why I think this. So first off, the time capsule at the very bottom of it. Second, the base. And the third reason is the camera on the left-hand side there. And before I touch on that camera, I do just want to point out that, you see a bunch of numbers all over the photo. I did actually happen to find the full 17-page application document. And inside, it actually highlights every single one of these numbers on every single one of their applications. I just, guys, did not have the time to read through it all, nor could I really understand everything. It's very wordy. So I'm not going to speak on this one too much more, but I do want to address the little camera on the left-hand side there. And that's just because it's something you're going to see in a lot of their applications. On the very first page of the 17-page PDF, in the first paragraph, it reads the following. The hardware processor is configured to execute the software code to receive from a user device a request for an NFT based on the presence of a user's device in a venue, receive sensor data identifying a location of the user device, and obtain camera data from the venue. And it even says the camera data depicting at least one of the users or a field of view of the user relative to the venue. When I just read that last point, field of view of the user relative to the venue, I know it's not related to 𝗕𝗲𝗍, but I'm thinking sitting courtside at a basketball game in VR. The hardware processor is further configured to execute the software code to mint the NFT, using the sensor data and the camera data, wherein the NFT depicts at least one of the portion of an object situated within the venue or an event occurring at the venue. Everything I just said there sounds like a physical environment. And that's exactly why I think we're talking about the physical partner statute. Now let's start diving into some more interesting ones here. Minting NFTs. So on the right-hand side, and I will enlarge these images for you guys, we have a diagram depicting exactly how this system is going to work, or at least their intention. The following are exact quotes from Disney in these applications. So determine how many users are present at a location at a starting time of an NFT acquisition event. So think of this as the bottom part of that diagram with the person and the phone. Now looking at the diagram right next to NFT wallet, you're actually going to see participation tracking software application. And I'm assuming this is going to be something similar to what 𝗕𝗵𝗍 has in their app already. So if I'm not active on the app today, it's going to recognize that. Now in this particular patent, there's a line that reads, the collaborative activity requiring relinquishment of a plurality of NFTs. So relinquishing something is getting rid of it, and then plurality being more than one. And then once that collaborative activity has been completed, one or more NFTs are going to be distributed to at least one of the users. So to me, this sounds like just a typical drop system. Guys, there is going to be a lot of speculation in this video because again, we can't know for certain right now. But within that PDF, every single one of these numbers on that diagram are explained very technically. So for any tech people, I would encourage you guys to check that out. But just to sum up the diagram, you have the person holding the phone who mints the NFT through the application that's in the rectangle box above. And then that entire application is hosted on a network with a secure transaction ledger. And a ledger is actually something we just discussed recently. Episode 142 if you want to check it out. Now next up, there's a patent that they filed talking about NFT battles. So it starts off by executing instance of a game space. So think about a game like Marvel Snap, and you click play, it finds a player to battle, and then it loads the environment for you to battle them in. That's, I think, what that's talking about. Next, it says effectuating transfer of at least one digital asset from each of players' wallets to contract wallet administered by smart contract. I think that's just a really fancy way of saying transferring one piece from one account to another. And the smart contract is what would do that. They execute automatically. Next, it says recording battle information, characterizing the battle. Oh, you know what's actually interesting? Now that I'm reading that out loud, it almost sounds like that transfer in the beginning is a bet. You bet one piece for another piece, then you battle, records the battle information, and then determining, based on battle information, winning player and losing player of players in battle. It's really weird how a lot of this stuff is worded, but again, that's just a weird way of saying determine who the winner is. And then transmitting battle information to smart contracts such that the smart contract effectuates, based on the battle information, the transfer of the first digital asset from the contract wallet to the first player wallet associated with the winning player. So it almost sounds like that transfer at the beginning is a bet. It goes into like something like escrow. The battle takes place, and then the winner gets transferred the piece, or all of them, or the top piece. Something along those lines, I think. But this is clearly a game. So you could speculate with things like the Marvel Mighties, right? But then we do also have pieces like the emoji style villains, which I believe is actually already a game they offer. Again, just speculation, but NFT battles look like they may be a thing for Disney in the future. So next up, they have a patent application that talks about royalties with their NFTs. So we're going to break down this photo first, and then I want to discuss some of the things that were mentioned in the written part. What this diagram is showing is what happens to the royalties with that NFT over the lifetime of that NFT. So as it gets transferred from one wallet to another and another and another and another. So it starts with the present owner. You have the smart contract tied to that NFT that's going to execute the transfer. That goes to the new owner. The NFT gets delivered. A royalty will then be distributed to the creator, okay, the person who made the NFT. A royalty will be distributed to the platform, and then also to the Maven owner. The Maven owner is an original acquirer of that NFT. They are not the creator. They're an early adopter of the NFT. And then from there, all remaining royalties get distributed to previous owners. So let's dive into this a little bit more. Now in the written section of this application, I have summarized it down quite a bit here, but they say conventional NFT market platforms pay out a share of NFT sales to the platform itself as a maintenance fee, and then may pay out a share to the creator as a royalty. The seller of the NFT, the seller, not the creator, receives the remainder of the sales funds and loses ownership of the NFT once they sell it. The NFT is then removed from the digital wallet belonging to the seller, who then receives no ongoing value for being an early adopter of the NFT. Disney wants to change this. So they say their present solution encourages owners to discover new NFTs and NFT creators by rewarding the original acquirers of the right. They're not talking about the creators here. They're talking about the first people to buy the NFT. So what Disney is saying here is that they're willing to reward the first line of owners with royalties as a way of incentivizing NFT transactions. So again, just going back to the diagram here to make this clear, when it says distribute creator royalty, that royalty is going to the person who made the NFT. When it says distribute Maven royalty, that royalty is going to one of the original holders of the NFT. And we're going to dive into this part even more now. So this right here is actually a document that they show that breaks down exactly how these royalties get distributed among these Maven owners. So at the top, you see prior owners. That goes from 1 to 10, and then it breaks down all the numbers based on the diagram that we just discussed. So the platform takes a fee for the NFT sale. The sellers paid out whatever they sell it at, 80% of the sale price in this example. The creators then paid the royalty, and the remaining is split fractionally between all historical owners of that NFT. And then it says that each generation of owners splits the remaining value with older owners. So the first owner goes from 8, then it splits down to 4, then 2, then 1, then 0.5, then 0.25, and so on. Now, another application I came across is one that talks about celebrity signatures and endorsements. So it looks like things would start off by publishing the public key. They then link the public key to a digital wallet and social media profile of that celebrity, complete the signing process, and mint the signed NFT editions with the signature from that private key. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that outlines how that process works. So in the written part, they say that obtaining the endorsement of a celebrity or other types of famous people can be challenging. They say that having an item autograph requires proximity in a physical space, and the endorsing party must either manually sign each item, use a reproducible stamp to mark it, or with digital signatures. The industry standard is currently a transparent copy of a physical signature overlaid on an image or document, which places the signature style at risk of forgery. They go on to say that existing approaches to applying a physical or digital endorsement to an item or digital asset are inconvenient in that the existing approaches are manually demanding, difficult to authenticate, or both. So their solution utilizes verified cryptocurrency wallets, and it introduces a novel and inventive automated process for asset transfers. This makes it possible to execute a cryptographic signature process from a celebrity wallet in the midst of an NFT or other digital asset transaction, thereby adding an instantly verifiable and cryptographically secure signature to any NFT asset. So to summarize the summary, Disney recognizes that the current way still provides risk of forgery. The way that they're looking to do it does not, aka the purpose of the blockchain. So next up, they filed an application talking about rewards. So earn rewards from activities and tasks performed while holding the NFT. Now, if we turn our attention over to the diagram, one of these rewards does look like a point system, and these points seem to be only tied to activities. The characters, I'm not entirely sure what those are. They could be emojis, decals, badges that you earn for like achievements. And then it also looks like you're going to be awarded certain items for completing tasks. The number of points that you earn are going to be based off activities, but that could be type of activity, it could be number of activities. But just how 𝗣𝗲𝗍 has their point system, looks like Disney wants theirs too. So next up, vehicles. This one's interesting. Just breaking down the diagram first here, we obviously have a person with a car. And then it also looks like 3 different NFTs that earn you different adjustments or accessories for your vehicle. And this is what they say. Systems and methods to adjust in-vehicle content based on digital assets are described herein. A correlated entity may be a physical item, like an artwork, a subscription to a certain media content, other types of content, and so forth. The content may include an image, a video, a signature of notoriety, a soundbite of an audio file, and or other content. You then get to a section that says this. You ready for it? Claim 14 states that in-vehicle content includes light settings, audio, settings of a compressor for a suspension system, a visual theme, temperature, and or scents, like different smells. This reminds me of two things. One, Mercedes, two, Tesla. Tesla already has their subscription model for certain features inside their vehicles. A lot of people know this. But what some may not know is that Mercedes has been considering something similar. And they've gone as far as saying they might charge for music and things like AC in vehicles. So when I saw things like settings of a compressor for a suspension system, that's really specific. But in terms of the visual themes and the temperature and the scents, it actually doesn't really surprise me. I can see a lot of car companies turning some of these features into NFTs that you have to purchase. You can also acquire, exclusive NFTs to give you access to rare themes, right? You hop into somebody's Mercedes and then, oh my God, you got the ultra rare 𝗘𝗿𝗍𝗀𝗧 dragon girl background. I don't know why I said 𝗘𝗍𝗍𝗀. That is not Disney, but you get my point. Now, again, just a little reminder, the 17-page PDF is going to be linked down below, but I do want to round today's video off with another very interesting one that pertains to past memories. So the image on the right-hand side is a diagram for the following information. Disney says that users may frequently visit particular places, and that these users may be limited to personal memories and or physical memories like souvenirs that they obtained, photos, videos, physical items. But obtaining these particular memories may be restricted by the place. You may live in Alaska, right? As far as I'm aware, there isn't a Disneyland in Alaska, and or by the user themselves. So what Disney wants to do is provide digital assets that can be updated based on or in response to particular real-world experiences of the user. And this could be a way to provide memories or souvenirs that they once enjoyed. The sets of content may also allow the user to later view, modify, share, sell, and or transfer these experiences. And this point got me thinking a lot about the Vision Pro, right? How easy is it to share your experiences when it's all going to be done in first person now? Reliving old memories in first person, or even somebody else's memories that you have yet to experience. Surprise, we have another slide. I thought that last one was our last one, but nope. We got more patents talking about modifications, or ways you can change your NFTs. I'm going to wrap things up by talking about some interesting points in the written section here. So the present solution for temporary adapting NFTs is enabling NFTs to be more dynamic by allowing them to be modified by updates, which are linked to events associated with those NFTs, and thus reflecting newer content and more recent events. Therefore, adaptive NFTs may not only be collectibles, but may also serve as progress trackers. Enabling an NFT to temporarily adapt to any of a number of different actions or events, such as release or distribution of content featuring a character associated with the NFT or celebrity, or the attendance of that owner at an event or location associated with the NFT. The solution for enabling adaptability of NFTs can provide NFTs that evolve while remaining relevant to the interests and activities of their respective owners. Adaptive NFTs also provide a Web3 framework for combining streaming content with NFTs. By linking the two, updates to the NFT can be made automatically and require no manual handling. Lots of information on this one, guys, but we're almost done. They also say things like modifying the one or more attributes of the NFT is further based on the attendance history of that person holding it. And that could be attendance history at like a venue, quote unquote, a physical location within one of a theme park, resort, property, hotel, or cruise ship. They also say that modifying the one or more attributes causes one of the following. The appearance of that NFT will change, or the value associated with it will. They also say that modifying the one or more attributes of an NFT entitles the user to a virtual reality, an augmented reality, or a mixed reality experience. And last but not least, another way to modify, they go on to talk about revoking NFTs. Now again, guys, this is a 17-page PDF, so it was quite difficult to summarize and simplify. If there's any patents that we discussed in today's episode that you guys are still a little confused with, I'd be happy to kind of discuss a little bit more in the comment section down below. But as for everything discussed in that PDF, these were the main patents that caught my attention. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. We discussed, I think it was 6 or 7 different patents from Disney that actually surfaced in the middle of last year, but that give us a better idea of exactly what to expect with their digital assets in the future, or at least how they're thinking. I do also want to remind you guys about our next episode, which I am excited to drop. We're going to be talking about a company that I've heard of before, but not discussed. In fact, I haven't seen anybody in the community bring them up. It is going to pertain to gaming, so if you guys are gamers, you won't want to miss it. But if you enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for our next, I'll catch you there.